what bothered me was that the vice president was on. I'm on the airplane, I'm getting a call, yeah, turn on the TV. I can't on the airplane. Well, the vice president is saying that your record needs to be snatched off the shelves. The vice president of the country that you live in is worried about my rap music. That really makes you go, uh-oh, I'm really doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
In his documentary film, Biggie and Tupac, Nick Broomfield, the controversial director of Kurt and Courtney, appears to uncover some uncomfortable facts about Suge Knight and his alleged involvement with the Los Angeles Police Department. The very notion of gangster rap might at first seem to draw a potentially subversive but ultimately harmless image of creative young people imagining for themselves a world where they buck the established system. Like latter-day Robin Hoods, they exploit the mechanism of the music industry for their own altruistic ends, advancing the cause of pride in their culture against hostile odds. Dig a little deeper though, and a very different scenario begins to emerge. The kinds of behaviour that men like Tupac and Suge seem to imitate relate in part at least to role models associated with the urban mobsters portrayed in classic Italian-American movies, such as The Godfather and Scarface. The unlikely heroes of these tales were men who apparently valued the family unit above all else, with implications of fierce clan loyalty and honour among thieves. Yet this was delusional. In fact, they were seen to be venal, treacherous and corrupt, and would countenance brutal violence for financial gain. The famous catchphrase, "It's not personal, it's business," became a stock in trade for people who would murder their friends, their brothers, their long-time associates, or anyone else who got in the way of their greed and ambition. And all this while they represented themselves as respectable businessmen, honouring the warped creed of the family boardroom. If you transfer these principles to the rap scene, a less idealistic picture of the heroic struggle of the oppressed minority against the white-dominated and profoundly corrupt entertainment industry begins to emerge. Instead, you end up with a mirror image of wide-scale corruption in the affairs of the movement's leading players. It is a matter of public record that Suge Knight employed moonlighting police officers as security guards in many areas of his hugely profitable organisation. Money and power offer a compelling combination, and real power brings incontestable advantages. It was quickly assumed by many of the Los Angeles police officers investigating Tupac's murder that the shooting was unlikely to have been a knee-jerk reaction to the beating of Orlando Anderson in the foyer of the MGM Grand on behalf of loose cannon gangbangers within the Los Angeles street communities. And Suge Knight, who employed serving police officers to act as death row security guards, would have unlimited access to the kind of information that would facilitate a successful professional hit. All he had to do was make sure that Tupac was in the right place at the right time, and hope that he himself would be safe from any stray bullets that would be pumped into the passenger side of the hired BMW. What better alibi could he have for the time of the shooting than to be in the line of fire himself? And the Orlando Anderson incident, in which a rival gang member was seen to be humiliated by Tupac and his friends, offered an ideal motive for a spontaneous revenge killing. But all this was speculation. Not only did investigating officers find that no one would talk to them about Tupac's death, but there seemed to be a high mortality rate among those connected to the incident. Within a few months, both Orlando Anderson and the only witness to the shooting who had offered any kind of testimony to the police, a young rapper named Yafei Fula, were themselves shot dead. Tupac's death was a catastrophic blow to the rap community, both to its audience and to other artists. Despite his failings, his volatile temper and his alleged attitudes towards women, Tupac was a prodigiously talented rapper and movie actor. His former drama teacher at the Baltimore High School for the Arts, where Tupac studied, described him as having innate ability and charisma of the kind that can be neither taught nor learned, but which you either have or you don't. Assuming that allegations about Suge Knight's involvement in Tupac's killing had any kind of secure foundation, it becomes easy to see where the pieces might fall into place. Suge had supposedly been passing money to Tupac as he needed it, or to buy him expensive toys that satisfied the side of his nature that revelled in the bling lifestyle. But no detailed accounts were kept, and Tupac's share of the huge sums of money he was earning death row was subject to vague and subjective assessments on Suge's behalf. In addition, Tupac had recorded an extraordinary amount of material, much of which was stored in death row's tape vaults, waiting for the day that it would be mixed and released. So, with Tupac out of the way, this pot of potential gold could be plundered uncontested. And with his death being seen as the senseless sacrifice of the West Coast hip-hop messiah, his status as holy martyr was assured. That, in turn, would mean healthy posthumous album sales. Which, of course, is exactly what happened. The first posthumous Tupac album, The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory, was released 6 weeks after Tupac's death under the name of his alter ego, Machiavelli, and sold 600,000 copies in its first week, going on to achieve 4 times platinum status over the next 2.5 years. In total, 7 posthumous albums have been granted official release, with the bootleg market also exploiting the archives of unreleased demos and Tupac-related mixtapes. The sad fact is that Tupac may in fact be almost worth as much dead as alive. Artists who live on after their creative peak, whenever that may be, invariably continue to churn out more and more material, either in the vain hope that they will one day recapture the spirit of their glory days, or in the misguided belief that everything they touch continues to turn to gold. In the music industry, stars who die young achieve instant immortality. Everything released thereafter is seen as a bonus magically conferred from beyond the grave. In non-materialistic terms, Tupac's legacy is his example to those who follow him. He once remarked in an interview that he didn't want to have children as long as America was dominated by a corrupt, racist white elite, with black people routinely killed in the streets in police shootouts. He was not prepared to bring a child into the world until it was a fairer place. How long that will take to achieve is anybody's guess.